Hello, trading is closed on June 21st, 2016. Let's go over yesterday's call. We had a MEJT target of 2094.77. I was leery it wouldn't print. It didn't, so we have to add it to the list. Ultimately, it almost always prints. It's interesting that the high in futures was 2086, whose cash equivalent is almost exactly equal to this price. During the day, MEJT gave a target of 2088.40. This low was 2088.52. That's enough to make this optional. It almost always prints, but it no longer has to. We said the most likely scenario was to have a gap and a quick move out of the day's range. That didn't happen. So the next most likely scenario we said would be to close little change. We closed up 5.5 points, 0.27%. I think that's a small change. Typically, we get the large move the next day. I'm not so certain that's going to happen. Everyone knows that the Brexit results are going to come in on the 23rd of June. It wouldn't surprise me if we just had a wishy-washy trade tomorrow and waited until Thursday for the big move to happen. There's nothing requiring this price to print tomorrow. There's nothing requiring this price to print tomorrow. But quite often when you have higher and lower MEJT targets, each within easy range, then each of these prices print, even though they don't really have to. Well, if we're looking for pretty much a wishy-washy time tomorrow, unless it's invalidated by a strong move at the open, maybe it pays to take a look at the longer-term chart. This is the percentage of stocks with favorable patterns. As we're approaching new all-time highs, we now have lower highs and lower lows. It's not usually the way you break out to higher prices. Usually it leads to a drop. We have a valid break of this trend line. We've had to move our target up from this point to this point because that line was set again. We now have a price target of 1933.5. It's still a significant drop from here, and as long as we don't break through this green line in a meaningful fashion, I think that's the price you have to have. Somebody called me on my wave counting, which he said was kind of sloppy. Unfortunately, he was correct. Wave counting was never my long suit. I'd like to paraphrase a comment made by someone else, which is, if you took all the wave counts I've ever done and the majority of the wave counts I've ever seen and threw them in the ocean, it would be a blessing for mankind and a disaster for the fish. With that being said, I think if you ignore some labeling inaccuracies, we do have a possible A down. Here's a move up, which is a corrective wave. If that's one, that's two, and we're playing Fibonacci ping pong here. It certainly is compatible with a big drop. We don't have to drop initially after the Brexit announcement Thursday, but unless all these things I've pointed out are invalidated, I do think the next major move is going to be down. Tomorrow I look for a good likelihood of a wishy-washy time with these prices being in range. And that's today's call.